So we're getting ready for a Chief Information Officer interview.
Oh, wow.
That's kind of a big deal.
Yeah,
And we're here to help you nail it.
absolutely.
We are going to deep dive into some RoleCatcher resources
Okay.
to give you the extra edge.
I like it.
The career guides,
Okay.
sample interview questions, even a peek into how their AI can help.
Sounds good.
You know, it's funny because the CIO is not like the quote-unquote tech person anymore.
Right.
We're really talking about strategic leadership.
Strategic leadership.
You're setting the entire ICT strategy and governance.
Yeah.
So
That's a big responsibility.
it is a big
You're
responsibility.
shaping how the entire organization uses technology
Yeah.
to achieve its goals.
Like you are the person.
It's exciting.
You're the one.
It is,
Yeah.
if you like technology.
Yeah. And so RoleCatcher actually has a career guide
Okay.
that defines the CIO
Oh, cool.
as someone who, quote unquote, defines and implements ICT strategy and governance, ensures a robust and secure ICT infrastructure, and stays ahead of market trends, aligning business needs with those tech advancements.
Wow, that's a lot.
Yeah.
So many things.
It is a mouthful,
It is.
but it really does highlight
It does.
like how you need to have tech expertise
You need both.
and that big picture thinking.
Yeah.
You can't have one or the other.
No, you can't.
Yeah.
You got to have both.
And don't underestimate that staying ahead of market trends part.
Right.
The tech world moves so fast.
It does.
So you need to be able to spot those emerging technologies
Absolutely.
and translate them into opportunities for the organization.
Right. And that's what separates
Yeah.
a good CIO from a great one.
Exactly.
Being able to see ahead and then bring everybody with you.
It's like you need a crystal ball to see what's coming next.
Kinda, yeah.
Speaking of seeing what's coming next,
Okay.
let's get into these interview questions.
Okay. Sounds good.
So RoleCatcher has 10 examples.
10.
We're going to dissect each one. We're going to give you insider tips on what the interviewer is really looking for.
Looking forward to this.
Are you ready to dive in?
Let's do it.
All right, first up,
Okay.
how do you stay up to date with the latest technological developments in the industry?
Interesting.
Now, this question seems
So-
like simple enough,
Yeah.
but I bet there's more to it than just saying you read a lot of tech blogs.
Yeah, I think you're right.
Okay.
I think the interviewer wants to see that you're genuinely passionate about technology,
Okay.
and that you're actively seeking out information
Yeah.
beyond just the headlines.
Okay, so what's like the approach here?
Right.
Should you come in and rattle off a list of every tech website that you visit?
I don't think so.
Okay.
No, I think instead of just a generic list,
Yeah.
think about something specific
Yeah.
that's been on your radar, like a recent development or an emerging trend
Okay.
that you think really relates to the company that you're interviewing with. So, for example, maybe it's the rise of serverless computing or the impact of AI on data security, or even something like ethical considerations of facial recognition technology.
Yeah. Pick something that you really know about.
Exactly. And that shows that you're thinking about it deeply
Okay.
and then how it applies to the real world.
So instead of just saying, I stay up to date,
Right.
you're demonstrating that you understand the implications of these developments
Yeah.
and how they might affect the organization.
Right. You're connecting the dots.
Yeah.
You're not just passively absorbing information.
Yeah.
You're really thinking about it.
And don't forget to mention how you stay informed.
Right.
You know, do you have specific publications,
Yeah.
thought leaders, you follow conferences you've attended?
That kind of thing.
Show them you're really plugged in.
Yeah.
And seeking out that new knowledge.
Okay. So for this question, really, you want to nail that message.
Yeah.
That you're a proactive learner.
Yes, be a proactive learner and not just passively absorbing information.
I like it.
I like it too.
Right.
Okay, question number 2.
Okay, hit me.
What are the most important factors to consider when implementing new technology in an organization?
Ooh, that's a good one.
Right.
That feels like they're testing your strategic thinking.
Yeah.
They want to see that you're not just focused on
Yeah.
the shiny new tech itself,
Right.
but that you really understand the bigger picture,
Correct.
the impact on the organization, the potential challenges, and how to make sure it goes smoothly.
So where do you even begin to answer something like that?
That's a good question.
It feels so broad.
It is broad,
Yeah.
but I think a good way to think about it is it's a balancing act.
Okay.
Okay.
Okay, I like that.
So you need to show that you're aware of all the different elements.
Sure.
Okay, so there's cost, there's scalability, there's security, there's compatibility with your existing systems,
Yeah.
the impact on operations and employees.
All those different stakeholders.
Exactly.
So it's not just about whether the technology works,
Right.
but it's whether it works for the organization.
It's got to work for the people.
Exactly.
and the processes in place.
And what would be a good example of how to weave all of those elements into your answer?
Okay, so let's imagine
Yeah.
the company is considering moving their data storage to the cloud.
Okay.
Okay, so you could say something like,
Mm-hmm.
well, cloud migration offers cost savings and scalability.
Right.
It's crucial to thoroughly assess the security risks
Yeah.
and make sure that it integrates seamlessly with our existing system.
You don't want to break everything.
Exactly. And then additionally, we need a really comprehensive training program for employees
Okay.
to make sure that the transition is smooth.
So it's not super disruptive.
Right, exactly. Minimize disruption to operations.
Yeah, that really paints a clear picture
Does it?
of how you would approach this challenge.
Yeah.
And it does hit all those key factors.
It does.
I imagine an interviewer would be very impressed
I think so.
by that level of thoughtfulness.
Yeah, and that's exactly what you're aiming for.
Yeah.
To show them that you're not just like a
Right.
tech enthusiast.
Right.
You're a strategic thinker.
You understand business.
Okay.
You understand how this is all going to work.
Exactly.
This is great.
Yeah.
This is a great takeaway for our listeners.
Okay.
So for this question, it's all about demonstrating that holistic view.
Yes, the holistic
You're
view.
considering all those different factors.
Absolutely.
And you even have a concrete example
Yeah.
ready to illustrate your point.
Be prepared
Yeah.
with an example.
Okay, on to question number 3.
All right, number 3.
How do you ensure that data privacy and security are maintained in the organization?
Okay, so this one is really important.
With all the data breaches we hear about these days,
I know.
I bet this is a high priority question
Yes, very high priority.
for any CIO.
Absolutely,
Yeah.
because it's where you show
Yeah.
that you're proactive in protecting the organization's most valuable asset.
It's not just reactive, it's proactive.
Exactly.
Okay, so how do you convey that proactiveness?
Right.
How do you convey that?
So I think a good way to think about it is
Yeah.
layers of protection.
Okay.
So you start by outlining your robust security framework.
Like what would that include?
So that would include things like strong passwords, multi-factor authentication, data encryption.
Okay.
But then you don't stop there.
I was going to say, is it just about having the right technology?
No,
Oh.
technology is part of it, but it's not the whole story.
Okay.
You also need to emphasize the human element.
Okay.
So things like regular security audits, employee training programs.
Right.
You could even talk about things like simulated phishing attacks
Oh,
to test people's awareness.
that's good.
These are all crucial elements of like a comprehensive security strategy.
So it's like you're building a security culture
Exactly.
within the organization
That's the goal.
where everyone understands how important it is to protect data.
Yeah, and that's something that the interviewer wants to see.
Okay.
That you're thinking about the people and the processes, not just the firewalls
Right.
and the antivirus software.
Okay, so for this question, you're highlighting that multifaceted approach.
Yes.
You're talking about the technology,
Right.
the procedures, and the people.
Yes.
But I imagine a very savvy interviewer might have a follow-up question,
They might to this one.
something to really test your knowledge.
Absolutely.
What would they ask?
So they might ask you something like,
Yeah.
what emerging security threats are you most concerned about, and how are you preparing the organization to address them?
Ooh, that's a good one.
Yeah, so this is your chance to really showcase your knowledge of the latest trends.
You got to stay ahead of the curve
You do.
on those emerging threats.
Absolutely.
Yeah. What would be a good example of a current threat that's top of mind?
Okay, so one that's increasingly relevant
Is the rise of AI-powered cyber attacks.
Oh, wow.
So hackers are using AI
Oh,
to automate their attacks,
interesting.
which makes them more sophisticated
Yeah.
and harder to detect.
So what are we doing about it?
So to prepare for this,
Yeah.
organizations are investing in AI-powered security solutions
Okay, so
that can identify and respond to these threats in real time.
it's like a technological arms race
Kind of.
between the good guys and the bad guys.
It is a little bit like that.
So for our listeners out there,
Yes.
if you're prepping for a CIO interview, definitely do your research
Yes.
on AI-powered cyber attacks.
Do your research.
It's a topic that's likely to come up.
It is.
And you want to be prepared
Yeah, you want to be informed.
to discuss it intelligently.
Yeah.
Okay, moving on to question number 4.
All right, bring it on.
How do you prioritize your IT projects and initiatives?
Ooh, that's a good one.
Right?
That's about time management and resource allocation.
It seems like a classic.
It is a classic.
Yeah. Question.
Time management resource allocation question.
Yes, and it's also about demonstrating your ability to connect
Okay.
to the organization's strategic goals.
All right, so how do you even begin to prioritize
Right.
when there's so many demands
I know there's always so many things
on your time and resources?
going on.
Yeah.
I think the key here is to have a clear framework for decision making.
So would you mention things like methodologies like Moscow?
You could
Okay.
you could mention methodologies like Moscow or the Eisenhower matrix.
Okay.
But I think more importantly than
Yeah.
just naming those things,
Yeah.
you need to show that you understand the business context.
Okay, so it's not just about technical feasibility.
Right.
It's about aligning with the organization's priorities.
Exactly.
No.
So a good answer might sound something like this.
Okay.
Okay, so you could say, I start by aligning IT projects with the organization's strategic goals.
Right.
What are the top priorities for the business? Which projects are most critical to achieving those goals?
Yeah.
Then I consider factors like urgency, potential impact, available resources.
So many things.
I know it's a balancing act,
Yeah.
but having a clear framework and strong communication with stakeholders
Yeah.
really helps make sure that you're focusing on the right things
Right, at the right time.
at the right time.
Yes.
Exactly.
Okay, so you're showing that you're not just working in a silo.
Right.
You're collaborating with those business leaders.
Yes,
To make sure that IT is a strategic enabler.
I like it.
Now, I bet a clever interviewer might follow up with something like it.
Okay.
Can you give me a specific example of a time
Ooh, that's a tough one.
when you had to make a tough decision about prioritizing a project?
Right.
And how did you handle it?
Okay, so choose an example where you had to weigh competing priorities.
Okay.
Maybe even delay or cancel a project
Oh,
that was
okay.
important to you,
Yeah.
but wasn't aligned with those overall goals.
Oh, that's good.
So it shows that you can think critically about what's best for the whole organization.
Yeah, it's not just about blindly following orders.
Right.
You're really thinking about what's best for everyone.
Yeah.
Okay, we've covered 4 questions so far.
4 down.
I think we have time for one more
Okay.
before we wrap up this part of our deep dive.
All right, let's do it.
Question number 5.
Okay.
What are the most important skills for a chief information officer to possess?
Okay, so I feel like this is where they're trying to figure out
Yes.
like how self-aware you are
Absolutely.
and your understanding of the role.
Okay, so what are those must-have skills?
All right, so I would say there are 4 core areas.
Okay, let's hear it.
So first, technical expertise.
Obviously.
You need to understand the technologies that are underpinning
Right.
the organization's operations.
But it's not just about knowing the tech.
No, it's about knowing how to apply it
Strategically.
strategically. Exactly.
You're not just a coder,
Right.
you're a visionary.
Exactly.
Yeah. Okay, second.
Leadership skills.
Okay.
So you're going to be leading a team of IT professionals.
Yes.
So you need to be able to motivate, inspire, and delegate effectively.
Okay, so it's not just about the bits and bytes.
No, it's about people too.
It's about people too.
Yeah.
Okay, third.
Third, communication skills.
Okay.
So you'll be communicating with people at all levels of the organization.
From the CEO down to
It's
the...
an outline staff.
Right, so you need to be able to tailor your message
Yeah.
and explain complex technical concepts.
In a way that everyone can understand.
Right.
Right. So you're the bridge between the tech world and the business world,
Exactly.
making sure everyone's on the same page.
Everyone's on the same page.
And finally,
Finally, problem-solving skills.
okay.
As CIO, you are faced with constant challenges.
Right.
Technical glitches, budget constraints,
Yeah.
security threats.
Oh, my goodness.
So many things.
It sounds like a demanding job.
It is a demanding job,
Yeah.
but it's also incredibly rewarding.
And if you can show that you have those 4 core skills, the technical expertise, the leadership, the communication,
Yeah.
the problem solving,
You'll be on your way.
you'll be well on your way to landing that CIO role.
Okay, so for this question, you really want to paint a picture
Yeah.
of a well-rounded leader,
I like that.
yeah, who can not only manage technology,
Right.
but also inspire people
Yes.
and drive results.
Exactly.
And I imagine the interviewer might follow up with
Oh, they will.
something like, can you give me an example of a time when you had to use all 4
Right.
of those skills
All 4.
to overcome a challenge?
And this is where your preparation comes in. You
Yeah.
got to have that example ready to go.
Yeah, have that story ready.
I'm ready.
to go in.
Yeah.
One that shows your technical knowledge,
Yes.
that you can lead your team, that you can communicate effectively,
Right.
and solve a problem that has a positive impact on the organization.
Exactly. And that's how you stand out.
We have covered a lot of ground
We haven't.
in this first part of our deep dive.
We've done so much.
We've unpacked 5 of those 10 interview questions.
Yeah.
And I think our listeners are already getting a
I
sense
think so.
of what it takes
Yeah,
to really ace the CIO interview.
I think so too.
But we're not done yet.
No, we're not.
We still have 5 more questions to tackle.
We do.
And we're going to dive into how RoleCatcher's AI
Oh, yeah.
can help you tailor your answers
All right.
and really stand out from the crowd.
Can't wait for that.
So stay tuned for part 2 of our deep dive,
Okay, I'll be here.
where we're going to continue to unravel the secrets of landing
Yes.
that dream CIO role.
Let's do it. Okay, so are you ready to tackle some more of these interview questions?
Let's do it. I'm ready for the challenge.
Okay, good. Because question number 6 is a real doozy.
Uh-oh.
It asks, describe a time when you had to implement a major IT project.
Okay.
What were the challenges and how did you overcome them?
So this is our chance to tell a story.
It is story time.
But not just any story, right?
No, it's got to be a specific example
Yeah.
that really highlights your strengths as a CIO.
So don't just give them like a vague overview.
No. Pick a project that was truly challenging.
Okay.
Maybe it involved tight deadlines, budget constraints, unexpected technical hurdles.
So like really walk them through the entire journey.
Exactly. The initial goals, the obstacles you encountered, the steps you took to overcome those challenges.
And don't forget to quantify those results.
Oh, yes. Quantify those results.
Did you deliver the project on time and within budget?
Right. Did you exceed expectations?
Numbers speak volumes in a CIO interview.
They do. Numbers matter.
And don't be afraid to talk about what you learned
Oh, that's a good point.
from the experience.
Right.
Every project, even the really successful ones, offers valuable lessons.
Absolutely.
What would you do differently next time?
Right. Reflecting on those past experiences shows that you're committed to continuous improvement.
It shows that you're always looking for ways to learn and grow.
Exactly. Always learning, always growing.
Okay, question number 7.
Okay.
How do you manage your IT budget and ensure that it's aligned with the organization's goals?
Okay, so this is a classic CIO question.
Right.
It's all about balancing
Balancing act.
the needs of the IT department
Right.
with the overall strategic goals
Of the business.
of the business. Exactly.
So it's not just about throwing money.
No. You got to be smart.
At the latest and greatest technology,
Right.
you need to be strategic
Yes, strategic.
and make sure that every dollar spent is driving value for the organization.
Exactly. You want to be a good steward of those resources.
Okay, so highlight your process
Okay.
for developing that comprehensive IT budget.
Right. So how do you assess needs? How do you estimate costs? How do you prioritize spending?
And throughout that whole process,
Yeah.
you're constantly communicating with those business leads.
Yes. Communication is key.
You're making sure they understand the rationale
Right.
behind your decisions.
Right. You want to build trust and confidence by demonstrating that you're not just managing a budget,
Yeah.
you're managing a strategic investment in the organization's future.
I love that, framing it as a strategic investment.
It is.
Okay, question number 8.
Okay, let's hear it.
How do you ensure that your IT team is motivated and engaged?
Oh, I like this one.
So this feels like a shift from managing budgets to managing people.
It is a shift, but
Mhm.
it's a crucial one.
Yeah.
As CIO, you're not just responsible for the technology.
Right.
You're responsible for the people.
The people who make it all work.
Exactly. And attracting and retaining top talent is more important than ever.
So how do you create a work environment where people feel valued, respected,
Right.
and inspired?
Yeah, it's not rocket science,
Right.
but it does require conscious effort.
What kind of conscious effort are we talking about?
Okay, so first, clear communication.
Okay.
Making sure your team understands the organization's goals, how their work contributes, and what's expected of them.
So everyone is on the same page, working towards that common purpose.
Yes, common purpose, exactly.
And second, opportunities for professional development.
Yes,
So encourage your team members to learn new skills.
absolutely. Go to conferences, pursue certifications.
And not only does this benefit them individually,
Right.
but it also benefits the organization
It's a win-win.
by keeping those skills sharp and up to date.
Exactly, a win-win for everybody.
And I imagine recognizing and rewarding achievements is important as well.
Oh, yes, acknowledge those accomplishments, both big and small.
Yeah, a simple thank you
Yeah, even a public shout-out.
goes a long way.
It goes a long way. It boosts morale.
And don't forget to celebrate those successes together as a team.
Yes, celebrate together.
It's about building that camaraderie and shared purpose.
Camaraderie, yes.
And finally,
Okay.
foster open communication and collaboration.
Yes. Create that culture where people feel comfortable.
Yeah.
Sharing their ideas, raising concerns, working together to solve problems.
So it's about creating a team where everyone feels heard,
Yes.
valued, and empowered.
Exactly.
That's the kind of team that will go above and beyond
Yeah, absolutely.
to achieve great things.
Above and beyond every time.
Now, that savvy interviewer
Uh-oh.
might follow up with,
What are they going to ask?
can you describe a time when you had to motivate your team
Ooh, that's a good one.
through a difficult challenge?
They want to see those real-world examples
Yes.
of your leadership in action.
So choose a situation
Okay.
where you had to rally your team,
Right.
maybe during a major system outage or a tight deadline,
Okay. Yeah, I like that.
and focus on the specific steps
Okay.
that you took to keep morale high,
Yeah.
to maintain that focus,
Okay.
and ultimately to achieve success.
Right. Did you provide extra support? Did you adjust deadlines? Did you celebrate small wins along the way?
It's all about those little things.
It is. It's about leadership.
Okay, on to question number 9.
Bring it on.
Describe a time when you had to make a difficult decision related to IT.
Oh.
What was the decision and how did you come to it?
So I feel like they're really trying to gauge your judgment here.
Yeah, trying to gauge your judgment, your decision-making,
Yeah.
your ability to handle pressure.
Yes. Your ability to stay calm under pressure.
So how do you approach this kind of question?
That's a good question.
Should you just pick a situation where everything went perfectly?
You know, it's actually better
Okay,
to choose a situation where you faced a genuine dilemma.
okay.
Maybe even a situation where the decision you had to make wasn't universally loved.
Yeah.
Because it shows.
Shows that you're not afraid to make those tough calls.
Right. And that you can handle the consequences.
So don't shy away from the tough stuff,
No, embrace the tough stuff.
but walk them through your decision-making process
Yes.
in a very clear and concise way.
Clear and concise. Exactly.
So what factors did you consider? Who did you consult with? What data did you analyze?
Right. And why did you choose
And most importantly, why did you choose that one option?
that one option over all the others?
Yes, and that smart interviewer.
Oh, here we go.
It's going to follow up with,
It's okay.
looking back, would you have made the same decision
Okay.
or would you do anything differently?
So this is your chance to demonstrate
Yeah.
that you're self-aware and you're willing to learn
Yes.
from your experience.
Even if the outcome was positive, there's always something to be gained from reflecting.
Always.
Okay, we're down to the last question
The last word.
from the RoleCatcher Guide.
Okay, bring it on.
Question number 10. How do you ensure that your IT initiatives align with the organization's overall strategic goals?
So we're back to that theme of alignment,
We are.
making sure that IT is a strategic enabler,
Not a cost center.
not a cost center. Exactly.
So this is where you demonstrate that you understand the big picture.
Yes, big picture thinking.
That you can connect the dots
Connect those dots.
between IT and the business.
Right.
And you can articulate the value of IT
Yes.
in a way that resonates with those business leaders.
Exactly. You want to speak their language.
So it's not just about having the cool new technology.
No, it's got to make a difference.
It's about making sure that technology is actually helping the organization
Right.
achieve its goals.
Achieve those goals. Exactly.
And it starts with having a deep understanding of what those goals are.
Absolutely. What are those top priorities? What are the key challenges and opportunities?
Right.
And then how can IT play a role?
You've got to do your homework.
You do.
Understand the business context.
Yeah.
And then translate that understanding into a strategic IT roadmap.
I like it, a roadmap.
And you want to highlight your ability to
Give it.
communicate that roadmap effectively
Communication is key.
to both the IT team and the broader organization.
Everyone needs to be on the same page.
Everyone needs to be on the same page.
Right.
And I imagine you need to be flexible and adaptable.
Oh, yes, because business goals can change.
They do.
And IT needs to adapt.
So showcase your ability to monitor that progress,
Mm-hmm.
track those key metrics,
Absolutely.
and make adjustments as needed.
Be adaptable.
And you also want to highlight your willingness to challenge the status quo.
Oh, yes. If you see something, say something.
If you see an IT initiative that's not aligned with those strategic goals, speak up.
Yes. Speak up. Be brave.
You're not an order taker.
No.
You are a strategic advisor.
Yes. You're there to guide them.
And that savvy interviewer
Oh.
might follow up with,
Here we go.
can you give me a specific example of a time when you had to adjust an IT initiative to better align with the organization's strategic goals?
So they want to see real-world examples of your ability to think strategically and adapt.
To think on your feet,
Right.
to adapt to those changing circumstances.
Yes, and how you communicated those changes to stakeholders.
Okay, so choose an example where you had to pivot,
Okay.
maybe even scrap a project.
Oh, yeah. Sometimes you got to let things go.
That was no longer relevant.
Right. Or prioritize something new.
That was better aligned with those current business needs.
And focus on that communication piece.
Okay.
How did you make that transition smooth?
Okay. We have tackled all 10 interview questions.
We did.
From the RoleCatcher Guide.
We did.
But there's one more piece of the puzzle that we need to discuss before we wrap up.
Okay, what is it?
RoleCatcher's AI tools.
Yes, let's talk about that because we've talked about the questions.
Right.
But how can RoleCatcher actually help you ace that interview?
That's what we're going to dive into next. All right, so we have unpacked 10 tough CIO interview questions.
All right.
Talk about a brain workout.
It is.
But let's shift gears a little bit and explore how RoleCatcher's AI can, like, take your interview prep to the next level.
Yeah.
I've heard whispers about this.
Yeah.
But, like, what's the real deal?
Okay, so think of it this way.
Yep.
You've got the knowledge, you've got the experience, but how do you, like, package it perfectly for this specific CIO role?
Okay.
And that's where RoleCatcher's AI comes in. It analyzes that job description, it digs into your CV, and helps you bridge any gaps, highlight your strength, and basically become the ideal candidate.
Okay, so it's more than just a fancy spell checker.
Oh, yeah.
For your resume.
Way more.
Okay.
Yeah. So, for example, let's say the job description emphasizes cloud migration experience.
Okay.
And you've done a bit, but you haven't led a full-scale project. RoleCatcher might suggest highlighting your experience with specific cloud platforms.
Okay.
Or maybe even recommend some relevant online courses to boost your credibility.
It's like having a career coach whispering in your ear like,
oh, no, right?
Here's what they really want to see.
Yeah, exactly.
And it goes beyond the resume, too. Like, imagine you're practicing your answers to those interview questions that we discussed.
Right.
RoleCatcher's AI can analyze your video,
cool.
pinpoint any weak spots in your delivery,
wow,
and even suggest ways to structure your response for maximum impact.
That's amazing.
So it's like having a mock interview,
right?
But with instant personalized feedback from an AI expert.
Yeah, it's like having a little coach in your pocket.
That's the power of it.
It is.
You know, it's not about replacing human interaction.
Right.
But it's about giving you those extra tools to refine your presentation, build confidence, and ultimately make a killer first impression.
Right. And who doesn't want to make a good first impression?
Now, speaking of game changers.
Okay.
The RoleCatcher Career Guide mentions the importance of continuous learning in this field.
It's so important.
Right. They highlight some certifications like PMP, CISSP, CGIT, and ITEL.
Those are the big ones.
What is the significance of those?
Okay, so those certifications signal that you're not just keeping up with technology, but you're also mastering these critical skills of project management, cybersecurity governance, and IT service management.
Okay, so it's not just about being a techie.
Right.
It's about understanding that business context.
Exactly.
You know, you're a well-rounded leader.
You're a well-rounded leader. Yeah.
And for aspiring CIOs. These certifications can be a valuable investment.
Oh, yeah. They can set you apart from other candidates.
They demonstrate your commitment to excellence.
Right.
They can help you open doors to new opportunities.
So many good reasons to get certified.
Okay. So as we wrap up this deep dive into the world of the CIO, let's just take a moment to reflect on the journey that we've taken together.
I like it.
We explored this multifaceted role of the CIO.
Yeah.
We delved into those 10 common interview questions.
It was intense.
It was intense, but we did it.
We did it.
And we even discovered how RoleCatcher's AI can give you a serious edge in your interview prep.
I think so.
And you've gained insights into the skills, the knowledge, and the mindset required to succeed in this demanding but very rewarding role.
It is rewarding.
And we've seen how RoleCatcher can be your secret weapon.
Yes.
Helping you craft that standout application.
Yes.
Refine your interview skills.
Yeah.
And ultimately land your dream job.
That's what we want.
So as you go forth and conquer those CIO interviews,
good luck.
Remember what we discussed today.
Yes.
Be confident, be prepared, and be passionate.
Be passionate.
And don't forget to check out RoleCatcher.
Yes.
A free account could be the key.
It could be.
To unlocking your future as a Chief Information Officer.
Awesome.
Best of luck on your journey.
Thank you.
We're confident that with the right preparation and the power of RoleCatcher behind you, you will achieve great things.
Great things.
That's it for our deep dive.
Oh.
Until next time, keep learning, keep growing.
Yeah,
and keep aiming for those leadership roles.
absolutely.